Hey everyone, Warwick's here. So we're back with the next in the promised set of videos, acapella reaction videos that we're doing today. We're doing the Bass Gang's Blame It on the Boogie. This one features the awesome J Nun. So I'm glad to see that these guys were able to bring J Nun on for a project. Checks off, one Bass Gang. I still think J Nun is a Bass Gang as a voice play member, but even though he's not officially a member of voice play at the moment. I still think of him as that way because, I've said plenty of times that voice play with J-Nun is the current group plus J-Nun is like my favorite version. But I'm glad to see that the Bass Gang is getting there. These guys have always been good. I've enjoyed them for a long time. I unfortunately did not react to May the Bass Be With You Volume 4. If you're interested in that, let me know. I know it's been almost a year now, but I can get to it super, super late. I've actually still never listened to those videos because I've always had it in my brain that I should react to it, and then just autism and ADHD took over and I forget. But yeah, I've done plenty of videos on the Bass Gang. They were actually the first group that I did. May the Bass Be With You Volume 1 was the very first set of videos that I did when I started doing these reaction videos. And Peter Barber in this group was one of the big reasons that I was inspired to even do these videos in my own form. So yeah, have a kind of a history, so to speak, with the Bass Gang, just on a personal connection level. I love the talent that these guys have. They're all pretty young. I think Peter, is the oldest at like 30, 31. So I'm still like 7 or 8 years older than him and significantly older than the rest of them. But yeah, so we're going to do their latest Blame It on the Boogie. This is the Jackson 5 song. I know that because I have parents that are in their 60s. So I knew this, but I don't recognize the song or anything like that. So kind of be coming at it from a fresh perspective. For those of you that are new to the channel, I want to say welcome. Thank you very much for joining me on this little episode of Acapella Reactions. For those of you that are veterans of the channel, welcome back. It's good to see you as always. Just real quick, for those that are new, I am not a professional musician by any stretch of the imagination. I took a lot of music composition and music theory classes in college as electives to go with my history degree. And I was a drumline in high school. That was 20 years ago. So I don't really have like true musical experience to bring to these, but I do have an eye for understanding concepts, understanding theory, an analytical mind. And also as a video creator myself, I tend to notice things in the video directions or the video choices, the visual choices that they make that I think are quite interesting. So, the way that I do my videos, if you've never watched one of mine, is that I will watch it all the way through the first time, no pausing. You just get my dumb face fresh out of the shower and in desperate need of a haircut, reacting to everything that's going on here. And then I'll do a second listen through where we kind of stop and pause and break down the things that I think are cool or things that I might even have questions about that some of you guys that are part of their Patreon might have from behind the scenes and stuff like that. So before we get started, just one last thing. Remember to like, share, subscribe. I did, of course, I'm in the process still of kind of doing a rebrand. Go watch that video that's on my channel if you're curious about the thought process behind that. But let's get into it. Let's do Blame It on the Boogie. This is the Bass Gang's Bass Singer acapella cover featuring J-Nun.
Always dancing, it wouldn't be a bad thing, but I don't get no loving, and that's no lie. We spent the night in Frisco at every kind of disco. From that night I kissed our love goodbye. Don't blame it on the sunshine, don't blame it on the moonlight, don't blame it on the good times, blame it on the boogie. Don't blame it on the sunshine, don't blame it on the moonlight, don't blame it on the good times, blame it on the boogie. Blame it on the boogie. That nasty boogie bugs me, but somehow it has drugged me. Spellbound rhythm gets me on my feet. I've changed my life completely. I've seen the light that leaves me, and my baby just can't take her eyes off me. Don't blame it on the sunshine. sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. I just can't, I just can't, I just can't control my feet. I just can't, I just can't, I just can't control my feet. I just can't, I just can't, I just can't control my feet. I just can't, I just can't, I just can't control my feet. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Good times. Blame it on the boogie. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. This magic music grooves me. That dirty rhythm fools me. The devil's gotten to me through this dance. Heart full of funky fever. A fire burns inside me. Boogie's got me in a super trance. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Sunshine, moonlight, good time, boogie. Sunshine, moonlight, good time, boogie. Sunshine, moonlight, good time, boogie. Sunshine, moonlight, good times, boogie. Don't just blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie.
Your father knows.
Oh my god, sorry about that. Wasn't expecting that. That was almost overstimulating. Holy crap. Holy crap. Okay. Alright, I need to know who did this. They just put the lyrics. They didn't talk about who arranged this. What is wrong with you guys? Give credit. Oh wait, here we go. So Tommy was the arranger on this one, with Marwan doing all the video directing and stuff. Of course, they get Ed Boyer to do the mixing and Bill Hare to do the mastering, and then the beatbox by Joe. I was about to wonder if that was Joe, who I know did "Friend Like Me." So, kind of an unofficial member of the bass gang in my mind. Like I said, this one was quite nuts. A ton going on visually. Holy crap, there's a ton going on visually. But some really cool things going on musically. Like this was gonna be a long one. So let's go ahead and strap in and let's get ready for this one, because I'm gonna be here a while. I think I'm on a time crunch because I have a Warcraft activity starting up in like 30 minutes. So I'm gonna try to keep myself on somewhat of a timer. It's closer to 45. All right. So I love that we start off with this shot. This was kind of the teaser shot that I did see on social media. Tommy, of course, in his bathtub for some reason. Marwan sleeping at his computer, which is also funny to me. With a laptop. He's at his computer, but with his laptop in there. And then, of course, Jaina. And like, none of them on a bed, as far as I can tell. There's someone that is way in the basement. Doop, 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 doop. I want to say it's Bobby, but there's someone way down there early on. I don't even want to imagine how long it took these guys to shoot the clips the way that they needed to, and how long it took Marwan to edit it edit it together in this, with a cell phone video style. Like it's a video that's made for TikTok, which is really funny to me. Um, I can't even imagine because like the synchronization and the cuts and stuff like that are so precise. It's insane. Like so many things that I could talk about. I'm going to try to avoid most of it because it's just not super relevant to the overall things that I really want to talk about. But I just want to point it out now that like the incredible synchronization and time and effort, and I can't imagine the number of shots these guys took to do it. Like I know Peter's talked about they have something like 480 or 500 takes between all of them trying to get different stuff in. I wonder if this one was close to double with how much they had to do. It was crazy.
Dancing, it wouldn't be a bad thing, but I don't get no loving, and that's no lie. We spent the night in Frisco at every kind of disco. From that night, I kissed our love goodbye.
What is Bobby lip syncing here? Is he doing the bass line?
Baby's always dancing, it wouldn't be a bad thing, but I don't get no loving, and that's no lie. We spent the night in Frisco
Love that little Marwin run there.
at every kind of disco. From that night,
No, so it's Peter doing the bass line. It sounds like with Bobby doing that in the background.
I kissed our love goodbye. Don't blame it on the sunshine, don't blame it on the moonlight, don't blame it on the good times, blame it on the boogie. Don't blame it on the sunshine, don't blame it on the moonlight.
Dude, you could tell only one of these guys has rhythm or strong ability to dance. It is hilarious to me.
Don't blame it on the good times, blame it on the boogie. Blame it on the boogie.
Dude, the close-ups, a little overstimulating to me. It's crazy. Oh, I skipped right over the J9 run. Hang on, we're going to listen to it one more time, then I'll talk about it.
Blame it on the boogie.
So I know J9 has bass. Obviously, we're going to see it a little bit later. It's not as, I would say, as refined as even the other four guys on this song. And of course, Jeff, who he's most well known for sitting with, because obviously those guys trained down at that level. But it comes through pretty crisp, which is impressive. Like, I know he's got the range, but to see it in a professional setup now and hear just how clean and crisp it is, because I've never heard his bass. So, so to have that come through so nice as it did just right there. Now, we're not talking anything ridiculously deep. He didn't do a sub or chest fire or anything like that. But, it's still down in that bass range, stuff that we would expect to see from Jeff or one of the Bass Gang members. It's quite nice. It's very, very good. I actually love this shot right here. I don't know how they did this. I'm assuming it's for phones that somebody happened to have that has green screens on them or some sort, and then they just impose the videos, or it's like very well edited. But this is like one of the coolest shots to me of this entire video. I'm just curious how they did this one. So if you know, put it in the comments. Someone down in the basement again. That sounds like Bobby. That ball. So I love that Bass King does this all the time, and I really love it where they do this thing where each guy takes a line or two, and you get to hear the distinct tone and timbre of each of their voices, and I really always appreciate that because it just goes to show like how distinct these four guys are. Obviously they come from 3 different countries, 4 different regions of the world. Peter's from the West Coast, Bobby from Northeast, Martin in Egypt, Tommy from Europe, the Czech Republic to be specific. And you hear that they're singing, like you hear a little bit of those dialects coming through in the way that they sing. But you also get to hear kind of like some really nice, distinct stuff. Like Bobby's obviously very smooth with the singing. Marwan and Tommy have a little bit of grit to them, and then Peter, you get to hear just the kind of more pure tone that he has from his opera training coming through, and he doesn't do anything vibrato like true opera, but you can see the impact that all the training has had, and how it's helped him make his sound like a very specific sound that's really dedicated to him. And it's really cool. And this is my other favorite part here, where we get what appears to be either TikTok or Insta. This looks a lot like Instagram, actually. So obviously we get the bass gang. I'm just looking through. Where the hell is Orlando? West Virginia? Okay, Tommy, that's funny. I like it. Hi, I'm Bobby, and I'm also here. I actually follow all of these guys on IG. I don't remember seeing these, so I mean, it could be that I don't spend a ton of time on IG. I edited this all by myself. Send help, okay. The power of the bald. There's no bald there, Peter. And then J Nunn on his own account. This is the one that I started laughing at. Also, Bass Gang collab with Jeff Wen. Wait, why am I inside this phone? Hello. I love that, Jeff. That is fantastic. It is adorable. Very, very cool stuff. And then they had a Jackson 5 thing, which was, I'm gotta assume that's fake. Love the harmony. Love the pullback of the tablet with Janon's clip here. The harmonies there are just so clean. They are very, very clean. You can tell that these are four guys in the background that have worked together for a while now. I mean, it's been, what, 3 years, I think? Yeah, 3 years, I think, or so, since they started up. And you can tell, like, the ability that they have to blend and how almost how much more smooth it feels is noticeable. That's got to be Jay Dunn's like kid's favorite stuffed animal. I have to, because I noticed he had his kid here in a little bit. So I really love again, I don't know who's doing the bass line there, but that they hit right there at the end it tickled a certain part of my brain just now, just listening to it again. It's great. But we're gonna go back and give Jay Dunn his respect on his bass that he does here.
This magic music grooves me, that dirty rhythm fools me. The devil's gotten to me through this dance.
So I love that, actually. So again, shows off the skill that he has. So I really love and appreciate that. I think he dips into chest fry there on moves May. And then at the end, I think we're getting his chest fry with Tommy's inhale.
The devil's gotten to me through this dance.
Yeah, Tommy gets way down there, and that's got to be inhale, his inhale technique that he's kind of become well known for. That is ridiculous. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love the sustained belts from all the guys. Overall, I mean, like, the composition of itself, like, there's some pretty cool stuff that goes on in the background, but, like, this is all, like, feels very true to what a Jackson 5 kind of song would sound like. Like, there's not really any, I won't say creative, but there's not a lot of ton of liberties taken with it to implement different styles. Like, one thing Voice Play does a lot is they'll do things like put trap in the middle of their songs, or they'll put like these EDM styles or these jazz or waltz styles in the middle of their songs. Pentatonics is much more focused on doing crazy harmonies. Bass Gang is kind of a mix of the both. They do a little bit of, they have some projects that are very, very creative. Like If I Had a Heart was one that I can think of immediately, that dips in and out, but they also do things like they took Bones from Imagine Dragons and rethought it in a way that was extremely interesting. Here they made a decision, and I'm not saying it's bad. I actually don't mind it at all. They made a decision to stay a little bit more true to one style of song, and that's to hit kind of the traditional '70s pop. Very much in the style of what made the Jackson 5 famous in the first place. So I really like that they, made that choice. I think it's interesting. I think there is room in this song if they wanted to do something kind of crazy and nuts, but I also think it kind of takes away from what the point. Like I said earlier, the song really feels like it's made for TikTok. And this video really feels like really feels like it's made for TikTok. And so having if someone wants to go through because they heard one section that they thought was really cool, and then they go in and realize there's 5 different music styles, it could potentially be very off-putting, especially to the short attention span generation. So very interesting choice overall. I just kind of wanted to get some big broad thoughts going through because we're 2/3 of the way through the video now. But so we haven't even gotten to the most impressive musically part, but knowing me, you probably already know what that is. But yeah, so I think there's some really cool things. I love the fact that the background stuff going on, particularly the bass line, to me is really, really interesting. I'm kind of thinking of other Tommy arrangements, and I kind of see some markers that make Tommy some pretty wide chord progressions and stuff like that. He does a good job of utilizing quiet in the background as well. We just got some typical ooze versus these crazy wild stuff that goes on in the background most of the time, where there's 12 or 13 different things going on. And sometimes, like I said, it's this whole thing is overstimulating to a point. It feels like I could listen to this 13, 14, 15 times in this video, do an hour-long video breakdown, and still not catch everything. And that's not a bad thing. It's not. It just goes to show the ridiculous amount of effort that they put into it, and it gives it replayability. I'm going to be listening to those quite a few more times to see what else I can catch. And do it on something other than my headphones. I'll listen to it on my car speakers. I'll listen to it on my earbuds, just because the sound quality on each of those is all very different, and that means I'm going to catch different things that I wouldn't have before. And I mean, it's really cool. That makes songs like this fun to listen to all the time. Wait.
A fire burns inside me. Boogie's got me in a super trance. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight.
So I saw the video of Tommy actually competing in a Rubik's Cube solving thing, so that's cool that they brought this in. I'm assuming this inspired that video to be released by Tommy and his friends. Jaden, of course, man of fitness. I thought Peter would be lifting weights, but Marwan, I love your cat. Can I have your cat? I love your little void kitty, who has either very angry thoughts in his head right now or no thoughts in his head right now. Could be both. Or there's only one thought. Because he looks very angry in this moment. It's quite funny. That's also really funny. Marwan trying to do the Michael Jackson lean. I also love that they still keep this bit going where Tommy's got beer, but Marwan's got grape juice because he's still, I think, under the age of drinking in Egypt. J-Nun's baby is adorable. Hello, little J-Nun. So, yeah, I love that we, again, little insight into all of their lives that you're also getting with this. I know it's super staged and stuff, but that was a fun little peek. I didn't see the book that Peter was reading. I don't think I was going to be able to see the title. So if someone knows, comment it down below. Joe, nice to meet you officially. Loved your work on Friend Like Me as a beatboxer, and you melted my brain here for like the next 20 seconds. I think this goes. I I like to think that I'm pretty good at breaking down beatboxing. I might have to listen to this a few times to get like everything that's going on.
Moonlight, good time.
So we get our very kind of a very standard beat. Just something that you would hear on pretty much every pop song ever. One of the things that makes pop music so good is that there's a lot of EDM takes advantage of this as well, just in different ways. But for pop music, they rely very heavily on a foundation to build everything else on. And what they use is drums. So that's why you get like these very standard beats. Now they've evolved over time, but a lot of what Joe just did is like was considered now a very standard 4/4 beat. It is exactly the type of thing that you would expect out of a majority of pop songs that are building off of something to create everything else. A lot of the complexity in pop song is mostly in the lyrics, actually. Even the music itself is typically just find something that's an earwig and repeat it over and over. And then you get your complexity in vocals. Whereas EDM, your complexity comes from the types of sounds you hear. And then you look at things like metal, and the complexity comes through not sometimes through vocals, depending on like if it's like heavy death metal screamo. There are some singers like David Draymond that have like very particular voices, but a lot of the complexity of music in like heavy rock or dad rock and even modern rock is built through guitar riffs and your drummers. So here we're kind of seeing a little bit of a joy of all of that, but it's built into a very specific section. Now, this obviously is something that does deviate quite a bit from the original, but I really, really like that they did this. And, we get to show off Joe a little bit, who's ridiculously good, by the way. So here we're getting obviously we're adding a lot of complexity. It's not like a trap drum style. It's more like what I would dub it. It's more of listen. Yeah, so it's more of what I would dub a Lord of the Toms type situation, where obviously you're getting a lot of syncopated rhythms, a lot of upbeats, tons and tons of upbeats. And then you get these, that fill at the end is really good, but you're hearing a lot of which is indicating or meant to reflect the tom-toms on a drum set. So Lord of the Toms is a style of drumming where you just spend a lot of time moving your arms around a drum set. And so you end up finding yourself in a position where it has like a very distinct sound to it. It doesn't work for a ton of different styles. You have to be very careful with how you use it, but it is a style. It's not a favorite of mine, but I do appreciate it. So there we see he plays off of a rhythm to start, where it's basically constant, where it's almost like he's but he's doing that 1-4-7 that sort of setup, that 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and then mixing in obviously these 30-second note meant to indicate like rolls with kicking in the drum, using a lot of syncopated up rhythms, things like that. And it's getting faster and more complex for him, and you can see it in his mouth. Like you see how much his mouth is working as we get into this third and fourth sections. Yeah, so that last one was a lot of like his tongue is doing 1,000,000 miles an hour in the back of towards the back of his mouth right now. Very, very cool. And then, he opens and closes to try and emphasize and tighten up sounds and stuff like that. So really, really cool. Glad to see, Joe get some shine in this video, especially after the incredible work he did in Friend Like Me. And like honestly, like those close-up shots are really educational for me as someone that does look at a lot of beatboxing. I can kind of do it, but not. I'm not very good at it. But but really, really cool. I love that they included that. That's like, to me, my favorite section musically, obviously, because it's drums and I'm a drummer, so we love that shit. God, J Nut's belts, man. I just realized the left and right ear that's going on in my head. I was so busy laughing and enjoying myself, I didn't notice it the first time. So we're getting like Bobby and Marwin a lot in my left ear, Peter and Tommy in my right ear, and then Janon's very centered. It's very, very smart mixing choice, whoever, the mixing mastering that was done. Hello to the Pit Vipers making an appearance in the video. Also, Peter, you have the whitest man dance I've ever seen. Please keep doing it. We're not going to talk about that. You all saw it. We're not talking about it. So I love that shot where they zoom out to the bunch of different versions of the guys. Again, I can't imagine how long that took to edit, but really cool stuff. Love that ending. I think it's Bobby that's way down there with that powerful "Blame It on the Boogie." So very, very cool. Excellent job, Bass Gang. Like I said, a little bit overstimulating at times, but not in a bad way. It's like it's become your style where there's a load of stuff going on that is really, really hard to break down, but it all like comes together nicely. And this video style, I think, was obviously very interesting. We don't see a lot of the cell phone video camera angles outside of TikTok and Instagram Reels now. So to have it come in like a full-fledged professional setup, professional-ish, I would say professional setup is really, really cool. So yeah, shout outs to the Bass Gang for putting this out. This was a lot of fun. Definitely going to be adding that to my driving to work playlist that I listen to most mornings. So thank you for adding another song that's now something like 48 songs long, and I only drive like 30 minutes to work. So I'm always in the middle of the playlist when I stop, so it takes me a couple of days to get through it, which is awesome. So until the next video, I hope you all stay safe, hope you enjoy yourself, you're having fun, you keep on listening to great music, and we'll see you next time.